can. I
Meeting
can.
order. Follow me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh,
You can't tell the difference, huh?
I can't.
Now, I would say this morning it's not as bad as it's been.
Last Thursday, the wife and I, just before we get started, had lunch at Boomerang's. She ordered sweet tea. I ordered sweet tea. And she goes, "Does this taste funny?" I said, not unless unless you used to Guthrie water, it would.
Well, it's been even worse than Guthrie water
My wife
about
can,
the last 3 weeks.
My wife can tell me. She'll even cook with it. We got water there.
Yeah, I have a reverse osmosis in the kitchen.
So they pipe that into your house?
I guess. I don't know. It's clear. I've done the test and it's clear as well.
So I guess this all comes under citizens to be heard.
Yes.
I wouldn't even bathe it.
David, how's your water?
We're great. We're on a well. I don't have a problem.
I hear what you're saying. I do.
We're blessed.
Yeah. And I guess so is our new truck stop, Loves, because they're on rural water, so they have good water. That's really quality water they deliver, regardless what the
I'll move with
problems are. Item 4, considerable and possible action on approving minutes of August 31, 2016.
I moved, Martin second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Consideration and possible action on accepting bi-monthly report of David Ball, Emergency Manager Director.
I'd like to move that to the end of the agenda.
Good.
The last couple of months.
Well, a lot of free time on this anyway.
What's NIMS, David?
I'm sorry.
NIMS?
NIMS? National Incident Management System.
We're tied into that, I guess.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's what the whole goal for that was. If you had a major disaster incident, everybody's talking on the same page.
Are we, is it okay to address David as far as our emergency management system and that sort of stuff at this time? I mean, I just got a couple of questions I'd like to ask.
I will thank you.
Relax, I'm not going to chew on you.
Okay.
You know, this last earthquake and some of the rough weather that we have and that sort of stuff gets me to thinking about, you know, where you're located in that corner of the building over here that's surrounded by glass windows all the way around it. And I was wondering if you'd given any thought to maybe a better spot for an emergency management center where we could get briefings and updates, you know, during inclement weather and that sort of stuff.
I mean, the only thought that I had, and it's been a while back, was when the sheriff's office had moved out of the basement, but I believe that's been taken over,
The basement.
Yeah.
of the courthouse.
The jail.
The jail,
old
yeah, the old, where the
old
sheriff, when he
jail.
moved, what, 8
Are
years
they
ago?
using like Randy's old office?
The last I knew, and I haven't been over there in a while, I was gonna say Regina, but it's not Regina anymore. The court clerk's office has racks, and Cheryl has it. It was full of stuff, books and records. The last I knew.
You know, I was over there not too long ago, and the old jail facility still there's nothing there other than bars and a bunch of, I mean, it's just kind of going to waste. Just kind of wondering if, you know, if we could find some cash somewhere, and I know that's hard to do in our local government funds, but if we could look at the possibility, I think that would be a great spot because the whole courthouse would have to go. I mean, would have to get taken out. A big old F5 have to come, you know, finger God thing. But the likelihood of that happening is probably not that great. But the likelihood of, I don't know, golf ball to tennis ball size hail coming through those windows over there where you're at is probably a lot better.
Yes.
And I think, you know, for viable emergency operations center, that may be something that our board would want to consider.
Years ago, that's where it was, is in that office. We could look at that. I don't know why Cheryl couldn't put her stuff back in the old jail.
And it would be a little bit,
I think the old jail's still full of sheriff's stuff.
yeah.
Most of it needs to be in the trash.
Well, I know when they vacated, and Monty, maybe you and Mike, I don't remember, I think it was even before Marvin was on the board.
It was.
Cheryl and I were told that we could use those offices down there for various storages. Now, the court clerk, that was Regina at the time, has most of the space. The room that used to be, quote, dispatch, I have. And then the main room, and then the sheriff's office itself, I think Cheryl has. She just ran out of places to put boxes that people still access.
Right.
And so she had shelves put in there for that.
Yeah, it's not that I want to be bossy or anything, but I believe that the Board of Commissioners can help figure out what spaces we need to use for which areas and that sort of stuff. And of course, you guys all need areas to store files. Yeah, records, archive records, absolutely.
Same building.
But
That's the problem.
but the issue is, you know, I think it's about an important issue that we probably should look at.
I'm not disagreeing, I was just pointing out
Yes,
how
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
it came to be what's down there.
Sure.
And I think the old jail cells themselves, now, while the gambling case was pending, all those slot machines were in there, and I think they are now gone. The case closed and they were destroyed, so that may have opened up, but I know the sheriff has been using the jail cells themselves for storage.
If they actually brought all them slot machines out to the shop, we ran over them with the dozer, all the two of them.
How many cash in them? You can play with them. First, make sure they all work before you do them.
I think
I did look.
the issue down there would be just rearrangement might open up where everyone could still have what they need and make access.
Still, our records continue to increase in how many we have to store in.
You know, that arch, I think that arch could be enclosed. I mean, honestly, I think that probably some sort of a control point which should be there, and then maybe, I don't know if the bars could be taken out in the old jail and that space utilized a little better or something, but I think it's something we should look at, and, you know, maybe with the new sheriff coming on, we can have that discussion ongoing in the next few
There's a
months.
lot of usable space. The unfortunate time, as you've mentioned, is it takes money to do so much of what is needed down there.
So my thoughts run, my thoughts run towards this 6-story building over here, and Coca is about to give that room back there that doesn't really have any windows in it, and, you know, and that building is built solid now. Mason's built that, and I think in a earthquake or a tornado, that building would be pretty much untouched. So
Make the
might
motion.
also put that on that list of possibilities, if you would.
I make a motion we approve
Second.
David Ball's bi-monthly report.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
That's a good point, though, Marvin. I agree with that.
Thank you. Yeah. Item 6, consideration possible action on approving 2017 Emergency Management Program grant application.
That was the first part of the 2016 grant. I emailed it to you guys Friday, but I have it if you want to read through it.
This says 17.
Or 17, I'm sorry, yeah, 17. What I need from you guys, if all three of you would sign that, and then Mike, as the chairman, would sign that page right there. It's the first step. I've asked if it'll be the same amount as last year, and I haven't been told 100% for sure, but more than likely it will be. But
How much did we get?
$20,000 last year.
I move to approve.
But due to budget cuts from the federal side and all of that, there is a chance it could be less, but
I move
we
to
haven't
approve.
seen the actual, this is just the first step, and I'll come back with you for the second part when that's ready.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Yes. It's,
Item 7, consideration possible action on approving ODOT claim for Logan County Rural Water District 3 for Beaver Creek Bridge project.
We have that one?
you know, I did not bring it. I'll bring it.
Is it gonna be okay till the 15th?
You know,
Go ahead and pass it pending.
What does it entail, Monty?
I mean, we're having a water line moved on Beaver Creek to get that bridge built, and you know, we gotta pay Logan County Rural Water to move it. So
It's an assignment claim.
all of it's been done. They just turning in the claim for payment.
How much, do we know how much the payment is?
Don't.
It was, I think, I emailed it to you.
I don't remember.
We'll have a meeting on the 15th.
Oh, wait a minute. Flip my stuff. I have copies. It's not one to sign because I printed what he emailed. It's $64,369.76 as an assignment of payment. You know, ODOT, we have to approve the assignment to pay Logan County Rural Water District.
I move we approve.
I second that amount as stated on that assignment sheet.
And I'll bring the original and drop it off at Troy, and then I'll believe you can sign it.
All those in favor?
Thank you, guys.
Motion carries. Item 8, consideration possible action on approving resolution designating signatories to the inmate trust checking account.
Those that are able to sign the inmate, this account is for the inmate money itself, and when they get out, we have to give them a check, so it works on a regular checking account. As they've had turnover in the sheriff's office, they have to update the signatories.
I move we approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 9, consideration possible action on approving fiscal year 16-17 maintenance agreement with Summit Mailing and Shipping for mailing machine for sheriff's office. $153 annual payment.
I move we approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, did you vote?
Aye. Item 10, consideration and possible action on approving temporary road crossing permit applications. Oh, Midwest up north there.
Well, I've looked
70.
over mine.
Huh?
I looked over mine. I don't have a problem with mine.
Midwest.
This one's Marlin's.
Guess I didn't get one.
Cox Communication.
I think all three of these H2s are all District 3, Mike.
Right.
And then the Cox Communications is District 1.
Do we get a choice?
I don't know.
I don't think we get a choice. I think this is something
I can tell you, I had a water company over the weekend. Went out there and started cutting roads and laying a water line. And the farmer, he didn't like it. And it's just been a heck of a mess. Long story short, I got hold of the water company. I told them they probably ought to stop. Then their little girl from Texas called me and, well, we got the land. I said, well, I wouldn't recommend it.
we need to sign all these.
Just the ones that are flagged. We have 2 originals and the other 2 I just stamped to go
Okay.
elsewhere.
I move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
done on items 12 and 13.
Moving right along.
That Coxcom was in that.
Yes. Oh, well, actually, it's a separate, I need a separate motion. That's a permanent line. we
Item
have to-
11,
I so
consideration
move
of possible
with-
action on approving road crossing.
I also move we approve item 11.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Barbara, I signed that one twice for some reason, so I
I'll do twice as good.
I scribbled through one of them.
So we're down to consent agenda.
We are. I have no transfers for within this fiscal year. I do have transfers from previous fiscal years into this fiscal year.
Betterment.
Do you all anticipate how long that CERB meeting's gonna be on the 13th?
About 10 seconds if I have anything to do with it.
Okay.
It won't be very long.
I have to head to Norman, but I'd like to sit in just so if there's anything that affects my ledgers, I can take some notes.
Well, let's put it this way, if anything affects your ledgers, we're gonna have another commissioners meeting to talk about it. As far as I'm concerned.
Cash funds.
'Cause
You just had to bring that up, didn't you, Troy?
Well,
far
I'm
as
trying to
I-
schedule is.
The reason I say that, Troy, as far as I know, from what I read in the law, the legislation that governs CERB, the CEDs don't have anything to do with approving anything. Board of Commissioners approve. And it goes to ODOT.
The only reason that I brought up a possible change is once I pulled and extrapolated from what Carol sent out the day that they were all here on, what, July 15th, is it appears to be long to what our allotment for the 5 years was. So I didn't know if there would be an adjustment based on that or not.
You're more welcome to sit in, but it
Yes.
shouldn't take long.
Well, there's a CODA's in Norman, and there's a couple of seminars that are pretty important to what we do, so I was going to head there. I just was trying to schedule.
It'd be like looking at a hot horseshoe, won't take very long.
I about had them people out of my mind. You just had to bring it up.
Well, I was quite surprised to see that agenda. And I did send out updated CERB ledgers to each of you, so you did receive them.
That's gonna be interesting down there if Murray County sure enough pulling out.
So that's what I've been told.
And I really think that that's the way it ought to be is if you're in a CED district, which ought to be against the law.
What's that?
I said if you are in a CED, which I think ought to be against the law, you ought to be all in the same ODOT zone. Division 4, or, you know, Division A, wherever. You know, like our CED, you got, what is there, 3 or 4 different?
Yeah, we got
Divisions.
3 and they got 4. And, but when it
crazy.
was originally drawn up, it was in the ODOT divisions. They changed their
Blank. Oh, he's still.
their boundaries on their ODOT divisions.
The legislation for forming CEDs doesn't have anything to do with ODOT divisions. That's the problem.
Yep.
It allows them.
It wasn't set up that way, that's correct.
Which if the legislation authorizing CEDs was done away with, that would cure a lot of ills.
You certainly would.
Well, I don't know, now that I think about it, that just put all those ledgers back on me. I'm not sure if it would help me or not.
Well, look at it this way. Instead of them getting the money to do that with, then we would be getting the money and
I was
we could talk about it.
I was
That's all right.
teasing, but. And actually, you will see, speaking of ledgers, CBRI was at $16,000 this month. That's the first time in quite a while we've had that much.
72, what is ours, 72,240 sales tax?
Well, that includes their interest. It was 71,846.56.
Oh, 71. Okay, 70.
So you got a third of that.
Right. Third of a quarter.
No, Marvin, you know I completely support dissolving CDs and sending us that money.
I know you do, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do that. Makes sense.
Yeah, you can't do things that make sense.
Like office for $1 a year versus 6,000.
It's sure good conversations on.
Well, now that we got you fired up, Monty, I just want to make sure and throw a little more kerosene on that fire.
Well, you know, I got to the CED meeting pretty early, and that what seemed to be the joke down there was they was talking about a few of the vendors was there, and Carol, and yeah, well, you're gonna be driving to Logan County, and no, I'm not either. And then the vendors was trying to get me to chime in, and I said, you know, if y'all want to spend $6 grand of taxpayers' money, I guess you can, but you won't see me voting for it. When you can have it for $1.
Are we supposed to sign both of these places?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm gonna pass this back to you, Phil.
What's that? Oh,
You missed the page. Well, only if you want the money that's listed on that page, I guess.
Yes, please.
yeah, I did that.
You got to on that CED district.
Got them all fired up.
And what's really funny is, I guess you call it funny, but some of the vendors, they'll go around telling all the commissioners, hey, we're all gonna meet here and here for lunch, but they never stop and talk to Logan County. They just keep right on going.
Like it.
Just
I was
one.
looking at highway sales taxes.
24 grand.
Vested interest in that.
So it didn't go down all that much.
It's kind of leveled out.
It's this homeless. Wait till all these new businesses open up.
Yeah, but I think they're closing as fast as they're opening. The I-35-33 section out there, as of right now, has 3 closed restaurants sitting there all in a cluster.
Mm-hmm. Go figure.
I'll make the motion we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Any citizen desiring to be heard? Comments, announcements, questions by the board?
Marvin, do you want tour over there and look at the space that we have available?
I do. I think that would be beneficial to look at that and kind of get an idea of, you know, what kind of costs we would be looking at on a remodel or something like that.
Would we have to do that in a meeting?
For the two of you, for more than two, I think that if all you're gonna be is looking and not deciding, I think if you wanted to go into recess now and go over there as a board, you probably could. But if more than one of you is gonna go look, yes, it needs to be
On the agenda.
as
However
a
you wanna do
public.
it.
I mean, if it's good to recess and walk over and do that and come back, I think that would be appropriate. I would.
You got keys for everything?
I do.
Yeah.
I think Paul does. I'll have him, because I'll have to dig mine out or get Cheryl's too. But yeah, we can. I guess let me phrase that. Wouldn't technically be a recess. It'd be a relocation. Because we have to be in session for you guys to be together. So
That's true. You just.
I'll just make note.
Kind of like when we go inspect the jail.
Yeah. I'll just make a note. That's what we're doing.
Okay. So does that need a motion to relocate temporarily? Because, so, let me ask a quick question.
Sit within our shop.
Well, it beats them hummingbirds we got coming in. At least you can eat that one.
I'll show you this one.
So,
I'm not sure, but I'm trying to.
you understand what I'm
I
saying?
do. This is not an item to take an action. The comments, questions, and
Right.
announcements. So I don't know that we need to do a motion, but maybe announce that the board is going to look at the old jail facilities and will return back here. How does that work?
I think so. I think what I've read in open meeting laws is that if you change the start time, or if you move a location without prior announcement of the actual meeting and the start time. I think the start time and the location is the most important, and that it be started there, and then the public that wants to come to that meeting would be there. But to show up now and expect the meeting to still be in progress even would be speculatory, I think. So I agree with you as well.
Okay, so just so we can have this clear.
Sorry.
The announcement will be that the board is going to leave and go look at the old jail facilities and then return here.
We're back. Still comments, announcements?
So,
I think there's plenty of room to do whatever. It'd be nice to be able to go over and turn the lights on and
I'd be able to see it.
look at things and see how you could design something.
I agree. So, I'm actually talking about that.
I am.
On a different topic, I'd like to recommend that as a board, maybe we, if we need to put it on the agenda and talk about it or whatever, we need to maybe look at a different way to call special meetings of the board, so we don't get confused anymore.
Sounds good to me.
That's all I have.
Item 17. Adjourn.
I'll move with adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.